Hello there, Cancer, and welcome to your September video. I hope that this month is getting off to a really great start for everyone, and I'm looking forward to seeing what kind of information and guidance is going to come through for you this month. I'd like to welcome back all of my return viewers. I appreciate your continued support. More importantly, I really appreciate the fact that you continue to work on your skills, on yourself every month, and that means so much. It helps inspire me to come back, so thank you. For everybody that's brand new, I would like to also introduce myself and give you a nice warm welcome. My name is Nicholas Ashbaugh, and each and every month, this is how I organize my videos. I like to begin with channeled information or a channeled message, and the way that I accomplish this is I select a deck of cards, I meditate, and then I connect directly with spirit. Whatever I see, feel, or intuit, I then share with you, and after that, we progress on to the main reading. This is a Celtic Cross, and as I pull the 10 cards in the Celtic Cross, whatever needs to come through does come through, and it's a really nice organic way to navigate through the highs, the lows, and all of the challenges that might be coming through, as well as the opportunities in any given month. I like to enhance this traditional reading by expanding the forecast to include health, wealth, love, and destiny. I also have a catalyst card which connects everything in front of us, and we'll get into all of that in just a few minutes. I'd like to remind everyone that you can always use these videos for your sun sign, your rising, and also for your moon sign, and you can watch on behalf of someone that you love in your life. If you don't happen to know sun, rising, and moon, then just stick with the sign that you were born under and you'll get all of the information you need simply by doing that. As you can see, this is going to be a nice deep dive, very comprehensive, so if you like what you see and you would like to support me, please stick around until the end. At that point, I'll give you some additional information on how you can give back, and this involves, of course, liking and subscribing, but it can also include booking an appointment, perhaps contributing to the channel either through Patreon or a one-time contribution through my own website, or now even the join button, or simply joining me on social media. Again, at the very end, I'll get into how this makes a difference and how you can do it, but right here, right now, let's get into the channeled information for the month of September. This month, as I selected a deck of cards and began to meditate on your sign, I received messages both clairvoyantly and also through my body, through the sensations that were coming through. My mind was drawn first to the area of the ears, and I also got an image of a boat, and I was paying attention when I was looking at the boat to like the barnacles or the corrosive material that you would see around the exterior from its travels in the water, or especially if it's been sitting too long in one space. And it's that stagnation, particularly when it's combined with negativity, that could be blocking, corroding, or somehow inhibiting your ability to perceive things. A lot of times this is because there are seeds of doubt or critical energy that's being sort of sent to you in word vibrations, and it's just kind of like ricocheting in your head. So if you have a parent, a coworker, or a boss in your life and they're constantly either making you second guess yourself or out and out just saying hurtful or negative things without any sort of constructive basis to it, I want you to try to find a way to get out of the situation. Obviously, you can't simply walk away all the time. Sometimes you actually need to confront and shift the energy. But if you don't need to be around these people, this is a great month to create some distance, create some healthy boundaries, and use your own common sense, your own intuitive abilities to take a look at that person and think, what is their purpose in doing this? Is it to make me grow? Is it to help me? Or is it simply something based in jealousy? Are they trying to push me away? Is there something else involved? And if it is that, then consider the source and start to tune out that energy. And what you could do in your own meditation is to imagine that you're melting away any of those blocks that might have formed here, and that you're going to kind of turn up your own thoughts, your own energy, your own perceptive ability to see what's going on and guide yourself into a better path. And by doing that, the voice in your head will drown out that thought, that word, or that energy that they sent in there and that they hoped would take root or kind of ricochet or grow. And this is your chance to reclaim your power. And in fact, when I started to engage in automatic writing, I wrote down the following. I said, you have more power than you think you do. And the second thing that I felt was a sort of tug of war right from that third chakra around the belly button. This can often indicate a connection between a parent, a guardian, a boss, or an authority figure in your life. And they're trying to pull you back. They're not allowing you to go where you need to. So that idea of that boat that was stuck or stagnating, it's almost as if they're holding on to the ropes that kind of keep it on the pier, and it's not allowed to sail and explore the world. So for some of you, you may want to try something new, but you're feeling courted or pulled back by someone who, for reasons that may not be in your best interest, they're trying to keep you back, hold you down, not allow you to grow and expand your horizons, your mind, your abilities. And so this month, remember, you don't have to do that. You have the ability to say no, and you have much more power than they think and more power than you think. When we're looking at the reclamation of your power, the interesting thing here to realize is that nobody can really take it from us. What usually happens is we inadvertently relinquish or give away our power. And I think that for most of you this month, there's a chance to look in your relationships, in your projects, in your activities, and see, where am I spending too much? How can I take some of that energy back and redirect it into things that are more fulfilling, more deserving, and reciprocate in a way that this doesn't, or whatever that is that's kind of pulling you back, that rope that's holding you. So I think that you're going to have a really great month once you have a chance to really turn up your own voice, your own thoughts, your own vision, and pull back the power and allow yourself, if you want to be untethered, to go down some other path if you need to, which could mean for some of you that this is a month of, stepping away from a relationship or a job, or just speaking your mind and saying no or no more. So I hope that this resonates with you, and I'd like to now shift into pulling all of the cards. So as I do this, I'm going to be quiet. I'm going to pull the full Celtic Cross plus all of the additional cards that I talked about, and then we will go into the forecast. Your catalyst card this month is the zebra. I'd like to turn it up right while we talk about this a little bit. First of all, the catalyst functions as a way for you to access positive or high frequency energy in the month. It can also be sort of a wayfinding card, meaning that if you find yourself lost, if you feel like there's some sort of a barrier coming through, this card can help you figure out how to transmute or flip the energy. And because the card was reversed, we're going to be looking at the upright and reversed meanings of it together so that I can also help you make sense of that. First of all, in the upright position, a zebra card would be about individuality, about standing out from the crowd, and about embracing those qualities. This month with the card inverted, it's speaking to either your reluctancy to kind of come out and sort of be seen. Think of, for instance, if we had the star card and it's reversed. It's the same sort of thing, because a star card does not want to sort of be in the background. It's about fully integrating who you are, owning that, and then sharing that with others. The zebra is, on many levels, some of that same energy, which is not making any sort of apologies or trying to change yourself. What makes you unique is what is going to not only set you apart from others, but also make people remember you. It could be your name, it could be your face, it could be that you have curly hair, whatever it is. There's something about you that is going to really set you in a different light, and this is something to be embraced. When you can love and integrate that piece of yourself, everyone else will too. If you fixate on it and are uncomfortable with it, other people will sense that feeling of not being at ease and will kind of pull back because they see that you're kind of closing down. It could be in body language, it could be in self-deprecating sort of speech about yourself. So be very mindful of doing anything of that nature. This month, take whatever it is that's your unique signature attribute and embrace it, put it on display, and really allow for that to be part of your brand, part of who you are. And I think if more of us did that, if we could just embrace our uniqueness, then this planet would be a lot more fun to live in. It's when we sort of want to blend everything together and be popular and be like everyone else that it really doesn't work. When you think of celebrities and athletes and anybody that's sort of notable, they have a quirk or some sort of unique quality that sets them apart. And so I want you to find your own star quality this month and really own those zebra stripes, okay? And I think if I'm correct, zebra stripes are unique for each zebra, so it's kind of like a thumbprint. No two thumbprints are exactly alike, so that is your special gift. Really allow that to come out, because this ties right back into what we were talking about just a few minutes ago, which is that you have more power than you think you do, and some of that is the power of standing out, of being seen. And if you own it, if you own that quality that maybe you've always felt you wish you could change, then suddenly it becomes a game changer, and some really cool things can happen, okay? The other thing, whenever I look at an animal that, like this, I would associate with moving quickly, whether it's a horse, a gazelle, a zebra, it's showing me that the movement, or even like the Chariot card also, whenever I'm seeing horses or something in that family of animals, with the reversal of this, it's showing that the speed with which things are happening this month are a little bit off. Could be a slowdown. There could be a couple of winds and twists and turns in the road. So don't give up. Persevere. That's one thing that I see with this. And that the other thing is to maintain and regain the control. Because if you ever look at the Chariot card, there are two horses. If they're headed in the same direction, then things are great. If not, the fact that I see a zebra here, you may be deciding to kind of go off on your own path. This is a very independent animal. It's not domesticated, it's wild. And so for you, this has the quality of like the Empress or the Emperor as well, or the Hierophant. So in addition to being unique, you're also going to be a leader this month. These qualities for some of you may be uncomfortable to kind of sit with, because you're maybe used to being part of a team or following, but you're gonna have a chance this month to step up. Embrace it. These windows of opportunity don't happen all the time. All right, let's go ahead now and shift focus to the Celtic Cross. We'll begin with the center card. It's the Ten of Pentacles in reverse. And this is going to be a busy month for you. Don't be surprised this month if your cell phone keeps beeping with requests for assistance, for work and projects, or for family members calling in favors, because with the Ten of Pentacles in reverse, this shows community, family, and coworkers knocking on the door and saying, hey, can you do this? Or hey, hang out with me tonight. Or what do you think of this? Constantly sort of getting in your energy. So to flip this card, you want to have proper limits, and you want to really evaluate each opportunity or obligation as they arise and think, is this still something that I should be engaged in? Can I say no? Why are they calling me? And also, do they help me out when I do the same, when I call them up? So really balance everything out and don't overextend yourself this month. You have the power to say no. That's where the power is in this sort of channeled message here. So the good news is this shows a lot of opportunities around you. You just have to pick and choose the ones that are going to be reciprocal, and also that might help you get to whatever your intended goals are for the month and the year, okay? This is a very domestic card, so if you have a family, an immediate family, whether it's your partner or it's an extended family, parents, grandparents, etc., you may need to lend some time, energy, or money to them, because this is attached to money and resources. You may also have a big purchase or a big investment or a big repair associated with your house, your car, or something that you would kind of have in your personal space. So budget for that this month. And also, when I'm seeing this energy at the center, it could also spill into the next 2 or 3 months. So I just want you to be prepared for increased expenditure when it comes to your personal property, personal belongings, and all of that. It's also a good time for you to kind of look at insurance and coverage and think, are you covered properly? Are you spending a little bit too much? Could you shop around on these kinds of things? Because I feel like for some of you, you may not be happy with where that's at. Crossing the center, we have the Moon card. And the Moon comes through when we need to pay attention to things we'd rather not. It can also be a very creative card and a card of intuitive awakening, but part of that intuitive awakening is often a revelation or sort of shining a spotlight on things that require focus and attention. So when those reveal moments come through, it might be in a dream, it could be, just randomly as you're walking down the road, you think of something. I want you to kind of scribble these things down and work on them this month, because this is how Spirit's coming through. It's that random thoughts that are running through your mind that are kind of like whispers from the divine, trying to help you avoid unnecessary situations that are challenging. Also embrace really great things that are coming through. And I see some of these here. We'll talk about them in a minute. So I just want you to be very aware, very awake, and try to meditate or try to sort of set aside some time this month where you can just be still and observe what some of these things are. The fact that the Moon card was covering the Ten of Pentacles here was showing me that for some of you, the things that you're avoiding or you need to pay attention to could absolutely be attached to house, home, or family. As you probably know, the Moon card can also be associated with finding out that someone isn't telling the truth. It's a very sort of gentle version of the Devil card, but it usually occurs when you think you know that something's going on, but you may not have all of the information. The interesting thing here is that I do see the Three of Cups in the near future, and this can show a third party or gossip or rumors. You want to be careful with gossip and rumors this month. You don't want to solely base your opinion on that. You're going to need some substantial information before you go and talk to someone. I think the more important thing, if you feel like someone's not telling you the truth or they're going behind your back, or if you think that someone is being unfaithful or disloyal, you want to kind of evaluate how and why that trust is now gone. Whether or not you're correct about your intuition or the gossip or the rumors or the information that came your way, the more important thing is now suddenly what was a strong relationship isn't, and that speaks volumes about what you really had there. The big reveal could be that this wasn't as strong of a relationship as you thought. Whether it's a partnership or a love interest or whatever, that's actually what this external thing came through to teach you is, and test you perhaps, is how deep is your love, how deep is your trust, and can it overcome this? And that is a choice that is yours. But as I said, tread carefully, make sure that you don't make an accusation without some backup, and maybe just even look within, because the Moon can be an illusion. That's what the Moon is. It's a reflected version of the light. You're not seeing everything. So it could be more of a mirror of something you have to work on yourself, and it's not so much about that person, okay? As we look at deep past, I think that it's important for you to slow down. The Eight of Wands is about being really busy. The reversal of this could be approaching that point where you're actually kind of stretching the rubber band too far, something I was talking to another sign about this month. So if you haven't taken a break recently, this is a good time to do so. If there's too much going on, think of delegation, think of asking for help, and really, as I said earlier, evaluate what it is that you're doing and how much time, energy, and power you're giving away by kind of spreading yourself so thin. And that's going to be a really great thing for you if you can kind of master that. The other thing, Eight of Wands is a good card, much like the Ten of Pentacles. These are really, so far, great cards. There's nothing that you have to worry about. These are just areas where you could kind of tweak things a little bit to be more successful. But Eight of Wands, if you have a business or if you're in a company, it's just showing that you're really busy. And for those of you that might be sort of in school, younger, unemployed, or retired, it's also showing that there's a lot of opportunities crossing your path. So capitalize on some of those because they may lead to future job or future work opportunities as well. As we look at the recent past, it's showing me that you're almost at the finish line for something. The Ten of Wands is a card of completion, but the reversal shows that there might be a few delays. Typically, you'll see someone carrying 10 wands on their back and it just looks like a very heavy load. You see a kind of twisting and winding road that they have to go up, and it's showing that you're almost there. You have to stay focused, but you don't want to take your eyes off the path because you could kind of get lost or drop something. We see that ability to maybe let something slip through. If you look at this illustration, instead of all the wands, you notice she has sort of like oracle or tarot cards kind of flying around her. It's a little bit messy too. So I want you to be really clear on what your goals are, and don't let the small details kind of slide through your attention this month. And like I said, if you need some help, make sure that you get it this month, and make sure you trust them as well. And I think as long as you do that, you're going to be fine. And if you can stay optimistic and really kind of be proactive on trying to get this stuff done, there's no reason you shouldn't be able to finish it. The image that I have in my mind is that this is the very last part of a relay race, and you just have to take the baton and keep the momentum going. And it feels like most of the work has been done. So don't lose that momentum. Take what you've done and finish it, and then you can focus on the next thing, which, by the way, we have here in the crowning position as Ace of Cups. Ace of Cups is also reversed. We do have a lot of upright cards, but the ones around the recent past and also what you're focusing on seem to be the areas that you need the most attention. Ace of Cups is good. It's about relationships, it's about love, it's about creativity, and it also is about passion. With the card reversed, though, it can show that as we kind of connect it with all these things, the 10 of Pentacles, the 10 of Wands, and the 8 of Wands, that you're kind of tapped out. This is like a battery that is drained. So I think what's really important for you, especially to help your relationship health this month, whether it's simply professional or it's your relationship with yourself, self-care, self-love, or with your partner, you need to take some time and space to decompress, much like I was talking about earlier. And for some of you, if there is any sadness, depression, anger, any of the lower frequencies, the moon is coming through so that you can work through that. Whether that means talking to a friend or a professional, please make time for that. That's going to help you, and it's going to give you the energy that you need to finish that final leg of the race that I was talking about. So just be mindful of that. When it's appropriate, I love to talk about romance. I don't do it every month because the cards have to show that coming through. But this month it's here, so I'm going to talk about relationships for existing couples, for people that are single and looking, and also for people that are single and happy. Those are the three areas that I look at. So let's start with single and looking. And like I said, don't worry, I'm going to get into all the different various relationships or lack thereof. If you're looking for love, it's a good month, because in the near future, we have the 3 of Cups, and in the outcome, we have the 2 of Cups. I also have a kind of identification of what kind of energy might be coming through. It looks like it's water or a very creative energy, because we have Queen of Cups as well. Queen of Cups, by the way, usually show lighter features, so that could also be something that helps you figure out who it is. The one thing that I want to really highlight here is that honesty and a common goal when it comes to how serious you want to be. This is something you have to kind of iron out at the very beginning here, because the honesty card here is the moon. Although this can also indicate another water sign, like I said. But the moon, as I'm seeing it here, is crossing 10 of Wands, 10 of Pentacles, and the 3 of Cups. So that is where you're living, what you're doing in your life, what you want to do as far as marriage, because the 10 of Pentacles is absolutely a marriage card. And are you all on the same page with this? The Ace of Cups also is about emotional availability and stability. Are you both happy with your lives, happy with yourselves, and ready for this relationship? This is a casual card. So this is showing that you want to take your time and get to know that person. And it feels like the main energy of this month is really about that sort of courtship. You don't want to rush through it. Even if the two of you are on the same page, I feel like there could be some barriers. And if you get too serious too fast, then this could be where the emotions kind of take you off the road. And you don't want that. Especially since, as I said earlier, there's something you need to finish up this month, and you don't want this to be a distraction for that. Now, with that being said, the 2 of Cups in the future, the outcome, is showing that there is potential with this, okay? But as we look at some of the other cards here, and I'm going to go into these separate from relationships in a little bit, but I need to talk about them in the context of relationships. 2 of Pentacles, you don't have as much time and energy as you normally would. This is in your ego. 9 of Swords, you may not be taking care of yourself the way you should, and you might be kind of stressing out at night or at work, or even in the relationship. The fact that this finally came through for some of you, you get what you wish for, and sometimes it can drive you crazy too. So take your time, take a deep breath, and relax a little bit, because most of these cards are good. So I think if you're single and looking, there's a great chance to meet new people. Just make sure that you're doing it at the right time, that if you need to say no, more likely than not, you can always reschedule a date if you're overextended. So just good personal care is going to be vital, I would say. If you're single and happy and not interested in romance at all, these are great cards for creativity and also for taking your business to the next level. Eight of Wands, expansion, customers kind of calling you nonstop. We saw that with the Ten of Pentacles as well. The Three of Cups, good word of mouth. It's upright. There's no gossip with this, so that's a great thing. The Queen of Cups, inspiration. Your passion is infectious, and you could pull in a key customer, a key deal, an investor, or someone that you really enjoy collaborating with. So it's great. Put your passion into work if you're not looking for a relationship. For existing relationships, there is a little bit more work that has to be done. Because whenever I see the Three of Cups, this is about third parties or sometimes even a question in your head about, is this the one? So maybe you're recently engaged or you got into a long-term relationship and you're trying to figure out if you want to marry this person, and if so, when. The good news is we do have partnership here as the eventual outcome. What I see is a lot of freaking out for some of you and maybe also trying to figure out, how is this going to relate to my timeline for what I want to do with work, where my finances are, how much time I can give to this person. A lot of you are actually just trying to be a good partner. I can see that. And so if you're in a fresh relationship and trying to figure out, should it be something permanent? Again, take your time, but I have good news. It feels like in the long run, you're going to work it out. The main thing that you want to be is honest about how serious and how exclusive it is. So if you haven't had that talk, that's really what this coming through this month is. How deep is your love and how serious are you both on this particular relationship? And just kind of gently get into that, talk about long-term goals, etc. And you're gonna know on a heart and a soul level if this is the right person. I'm not getting a lot of indicators that they're not. The only thing that could be a wrinkle for some of you is it feels like either some people are not ready to settle down just yet, but maybe they will be later this year, or there may be some of you that are interested in exploring things a little bit. So if you're with someone and you're not sure they're the one, you really owe it to them to communicate that, rather than trying and to adding people in the relationship or dating or keeping it casual. You might want to just say, I need some more time to know what I'm looking for, because they may respect you more for that, and ultimately you can remain friends, and maybe then when you're serious, come back and say, no, this is it, this is what I want. But be careful, because that person has other things in their life too, and I have to say that, just like you're trying to figure things out, so are they. But I think honesty is the key this month, and you don't want to hide things. And if you're attracted to someone else, you need to be honest about that and own up to it. I will say that because we're in a new age where there's different types of relationships, Three of Cups can show an open relationship. So if that's something you want or your partner wants, talk about that. But the fact that the moon is there is showing that it may not be a mutually sort of like happy solution. So you definitely need to check out and make sure that both of you are on the same page. For those of you that are also kind of married in a long-term relationship, happy, you've been there for a while, I would say this is showing that there's definitely some room for better communication and not kind of shouldering all of the stress, one partner or the other, because it feels like there's a need to balance things out a little bit. There's also threads of honesty. Some of you might be dealing with someone who in the past has dealt with infidelity, and that's something that's important to talk through this month. I get a good outcome for this. So whatever your decision is, whether it's to stay or to leave, it feels like you're going to be able to do it with minimal stress. It's more the sort of kind of like coming out and having the conversation that will be difficult for all of you. So to kind of bring a common thread for all three of those, no matter what, you have to take care of yourself because of the Ace of Cups in reverse. No matter what, honesty, transparency, it's key because of the moon card crossing all the center cards. No matter what, balance is really important. If you can't give what you need, or if you're not getting what you need, then that has to come through. Ultimately, knowing that you're an advocate for one another, that you have each other's backs, this is the thing that matters the most. And I think that you're going to be able to land on something that's good. But try to avoid going to worst case scenarios. Assume the best, speak openly, ask a question, feel this situation out, and I think that you're going to be able to arrive at a good solution. And I think many of you may find that when you finally make time to have an honest conversation with the person that you love, that they're going to meet you and be happy about that and just really resonate with the truth. Sometimes it's just hard to come out with the truth, whatever it is. I love you, or I'm nervous about the future, or what do you want to do, or we need to talk. Whatever your conversation is, just kind of letting those words come out of your mouth, that's the hardest part. And the person is on many levels relieved because they feel it. When you're really intimately involved with somebody, they can feel that tension. And when you start to talk, you break the ice, you regain trust, you can work through stuff. But if you don't, it's going to stress you out. If you have a secret that's weighing on you, you've got to talk to your partner about it, okay? So let's now talk about the other cards here out of the context of relationships. One thing that I didn't mention with Three of Cups is it could just show group parties, celebrations, really good things in your life. It's not bad. It can also show excess. So if you're trying to get through something like an addiction or just trying to be healthier, don't go to extremes. And the fact that the Moon card did touch this shows that many of you know better and you know what your triggers are, so avoid those triggers. Two of Pentacles, going to have to balance your checkbook this month and really make sure that you're not stretching your budget too far. The interesting thing that I see for some of you with the 10 of Wands and 10 of Pentacles is that you might be trying to sell your house, because that's basically dissolving assets, your house, and then moving, 10 of Wands. It could be tricky. You may have to wait 2 or 3 months here. This can also be a card that I would associate with shared living situations. So you may decide instead of selling a property that you rent it. And if you're normally someone who buys property, you may decide that this is a better time to rent. Being patient, being prudent, and really allowing for your budget to be as balanced as possible. This is what's important this month. I think conservative spending is your friend. The Two of Pentacles shows me that you can make it work, but particularly when it comes to travel, whether it's for business or for pleasure, don't go overboard. Try to get on some of those coupons or special deals, and I think that's going to be a really good thing. Travel with friends, as we see with the Three of Cups, if you can. Anywhere where you can cut corners, this is the month to do it, so that you have more in the future, and especially with all the ups and downs with financial markets right now, I think it's a good time to be conservative. When we look in your environment, I really want you to try to avoid drinking caffeine too close to bedtime. Tune out the news before you go to bed as well. Don't look at TV too late. And if you can actually not have a television in your bedroom, really kind of keep that as a sacred space. And try to just go to your bedroom to meditate or to go to sleep and to clear out all of the clutter. That'll be good. The Nine of Swords shows problems or irregularities with sleep schedules. It can show nightmares or stress around the middle of the night. It can show waking up at 2 or 3 in the morning. So you need to do a better job of regulating stress around that crucial part of your night, so that you can be able to recharge. This is going to help you with the emotional stuff that we see here. So all of those things are important. The other thing that I would say is, if you're stressed out, you've got to talk to somebody. If it's not your friend, if it's not your partner, then talk to a professional. The Nine of Swords can show a burden that you feel like you have to carry alone. The truth of the matter is that you don't. Just find someone that you trust, okay? The Queen of Cups is a great card in opportunities, hopes, and fears, because this is really about your passions, whatever it is it's driving you to kind of get up and work and move and do things from day to day. So honor those passions, those dreams. There's something that can become a reality if you continue to feed them. Also, if we combine what we saw with the zebra and we kind of flip it from the reverse to the upright position, when you love yourselves, others love what you're putting out there. When you also celebrate diversity in others, that is going to bring more opportunities in your life as well. So celebrate the other zebras that exist out there, and realize that the more that we all kind of show our true colors and embrace that unique attribute, the better. And I see partnership opportunities and being able to resolve things and bringing good people in your life, as long as you work through some of the challenges we just talked about. So let's go ahead now and expand the forecast. As you know, every month I like to look at health, wealth, love, and destiny, beginning with the health card. For me, this is a mind, body, and spirit card. It's not always about an ailment in the body. In fact, a lot of times it has to do with an emotional trigger or even something in your energetic system. So this month we have Deceit. The card was reversed. And this is about coming through something where you've learned that someone didn't tell you the truth, or you could even be in a situation where you figure out, like, this wasn't what I thought I was signing up for. That's everything that we talked about with the Moon card. And it feels like this is present at the very beginning of the month. You kind of know what it is that you have to deal with. The sooner you can come through that kind of cloudy area around truth or expectations, the better, because this is what's going to alleviate the energy of the Nine of Swords. What I like about this is that the card was reversed, which means that I don't feel like this is going to permeate everything that's going to happen this month and the rest of the year. This is an isolated thing that you have to deal with, and the sooner that you deal with it, the better you're going to feel on an emotional and a physical level as well. So getting to the heart of whatever it is that isn't right. You know, if someone told you a lie, if someone made a commitment to pay you money and they didn't do that, if you said that you were going to do something and you didn't, coming through and just being honest, transparent, and somehow trying to make it better, that's what's going to make you feel better this month. And really, that's the main focus. I already highlighted sleep for many of you as something that you want to focus on as well, and restraint when it comes to drinking, eating, or doing anything in excess too much. That's the other messages that I see when it comes to health. All right, let's look at wealth now. Wealth is not just about jobs, it's also about opportunities and how you are either pulling them in or pushing them away. And we actually get an invitation or an encouragement for you to do more creative work. And I mentioned with Queen of Cups that this is a really good time to do that. And I also mentioned that with the Moon, many of you have increased intuition and creativity. And, you know, the Three of Cups is about sharing that with others. So some of you may need to make time for creative endeavors. And as I said earlier, you have power to push your schedule, your resources around a little bit. So no more excuses this month for those of you that have been kind of procrastinating. And even if you've been good about it, you need to sort of stay steady with that and consistent. So create time in your life for yourself, for your projects, for your creative and passionate endeavors. That's going to pay off in the long run. This month, we don't see a lot in the way of money coming in. I think you're planting the seeds right now for later this year and even for the next year or two. So this is a time when it's really important to just kind of go head first into some of those great, I would say head and heart first into some of those endeavors, and know that, again, you're sowing the seeds for the future, okay? So make time for you. This time to create could also be going back to school, getting some sort of a certification. There's a little bit of the energy of the Eight of Pentacles associated with that, but it should feel fulfilling and creative to you, okay? That's the message that I also receive. The message when we look at love this month is all about spending time with the people that you care about. It says, enjoy the bliss of holiday time together. I mentioned earlier that 10 of Wands could be movement. It could also be taking a trip. And I also said just don't overspend on that, but the important thing is the connection with people that you like. If you think back to when you were a kid, it wasn't about these extravagant sort of situations. You didn't have to go to a 5-star restaurant. You didn't have to have a fancy hotel. It was just hanging out with people that you really liked. If you think back to like elementary school or high school. When you're an adult, if we can get back into that mindset of it's who I'm with, not where I'm at or how much I'm spending, then I think that will really benefit you. The only warning that I see with this is the fact that a honeymoon doesn't last forever. And so what we see for some of you is that phase of having fun and then getting serious. So I want you to keep your eyes completely open, especially your third eye. And as we talked earlier, make sure that you're clearing everything out so that you're sensing everything that's going on, seeing with all of your senses, not just with your heart. And as you kind of get deeper into the relationships, if there's stuff that you have to talk about it. That's the difference between just having fun and really finding that life partner or that business partner or that best friend that you've been looking for. Because if you truly are connected and you have what it takes to have a future together, then it will withstand any question, any situation, and you're going to be able to work it out, okay? In Destiny, there's a message of honoring your self-respect. The card was reversed, but what we see here is that you actually know what's important, what you need to focus on. And it could be that friends in your life have pressured you to do something that you're not proud about. It could be that you are at a place where you know that you want to make some sort of a change, but you don't know how to get started. In that case, there actually might be a helping hand to do it. Know that when you start to love and respect yourself, as we saw here with the zebra card, when you can do something that really just honors whatever it is that makes you unique or really makes your heart sing and you want to get up in the morning. When you go down that path of knowing that I'm good enough, this is a good thing for me, and if I'm bold and if I honor it, then other people around me will see that as a moment of strength and something that they're attracted to. Well, then this is what you need to focus on. If you're doing something that calls into question the fact of like, I don't respect myself, I'm not happy, or this diminishes my power or the quality of my life, you have the answer you need. You should stop doing that, but you need to come to the conclusion yourself that it's okay. So I think it's definitely important to do a little bit of self-analysis this month and look at what it is that's causing some of the stress which I see in the environment here, okay? If it's someone in your friend group, or if it's a lover, or if it's a coworker, you need to deal with that ASAP. If it's resources and money, you need to deal with that as well. If it's a habit and you're going too far in one extreme, then you have to find moderation. So there's a lot to unpackage there, but the good news is you know what it is that you need to fix, and you have everything you need to do that. Ultimately, the other thing here with self-respect, I see it as just a chance to practice good love and good sort of confidence-building activities in your life. So this can also be about getting involved in organizations and community endeavors that help you or help others work on that attribute, self-respect, okay? Let's go ahead now and review everything that we talked about, and then I'll leave you with a closing word. Remember that you have more power and influence than you think you do, and as I mentioned earlier, that some of you may actually be in a sort of toxic environment. We see that connection here with the Three of Cups and the Nine of Swords. If you're being stressed out by people around you, if they're critical or if they're pushing you to do things that call into question your self-respect, this is a month to get yourself out of that situation. With the Ten of Wands and the Ten of Pentacles, it could mean moving from a place that you're living, moving from a job, kind of shifting that around so that you can find more cooperative, more supportive energy. And that could be what could clear out the ear chakras that I was talking about. It's this sort of gossip for some of you. So just realize you have the power to make that change, and also you just have the power to speak up, and that's really what this was talking about. Your individuality is your friend. Let's turn that card upright. Own all of the things that make you unique. And when you fall in love with yourself, other people fall in love with you as well. So self-love, self-respect, a common theme for your sign this month. As I said earlier, this is going to be a really busy month for many of you with the Ten of Pentacles in reverse. We have both the Three of Cups and Ten of Wands on either side of this. This is showing that for many of you, extended family, immediate family, friends, co-workers, and even strangers may be drawn to you and asking for your time, your energy, and your attention. You have to ration your resources this month and be smart about that. Say no, have good limits. Remember that part of that power is simply the word no. Use it when appropriate. We have the moon touching all of these friends, family, and coworker cards. So you want to be honest, and you want to kind of bring things that need to be talked about into the light. That's why the moon is coming through. If you deal with it this month, you won't have to deal with a devil or a Ten of Swords or a Tower. This is actually a blessing for you, so take advantage of that energy. The moon is gentle, and it allows for you to work through any sort of challenges that might need to be resolved. Remember, though, with the Three of Cups here, there is a possibility of either somebody going behind your back or talking about you, or there could be disloyalty or something like that. But if that actually is happening, you need to have the information to back it up. And what's more important is you might need to just work on the relationship itself, because the fact that the trust is missing indicates that you maybe don't have as strong a bond as you thought you did. So rather than making an accusation, try to get to know that person a little bit more, talk about hopes and fears, make sure that you're aligned on the same page, and then set as a part of that conversation, your expectations of loyalty, of honesty, of what you want. And then if something happens in the future, you can lean on that, and it won't be a surprise to that person. Even the fact that the conversation's coming up will be enough for some people to kind of bring them back on path. Eight of Wands, you're super busy. I feel like, that's boiling into this month. You need to make sure that, again, you're not overextending yourself, because this moon could also be you. And you need to make sure that if your reputation or your, even just your own self-respect is on the line, you have to make sure that you're not overdoing it. And if you can't get something done, then ask for assistance. It's there this month. We can see that. 10 of Wands, 10 of Pentacles in reverse, right next to each other, showing that some of you might be selling a house or looking to move or looking to travel. Just make sure that it's not going to tax your resources again too much. The 10 of Wands is a nice reminder that, hey, you've done a good job of getting where you're at. You're almost finished with a certain task. Don't lose sight of that. Don't let the details slip through your fingers. We saw all of the cards kind of scattered in a mess on this card. So what you want to make sure of is that when it comes to paperwork, when it comes to any sort of small commitments you've made, that you come through, that you kind of hand off that final baton if it was a race, for instance, and don't lose the momentum, don't lose track of all the hard work that you've done. Focus on being balanced when it comes to your energy, your emotional state, your general well-being. The Ace of Cups in reverse can show that if you're not happy or if you're kind of burning the candle at both ends, that something could give, and it could be basically your overall emotional state, which then could lead to stress or disagreements, and you don't want to go there because overall we're not seeing that energy coming through. So be kind to yourself, get assistance if you need it, it's there for you. 3 of Cups, there's a lot of great community opportunities around you this month for dating, for partnerships, for networking. Just make sure that you don't overdo things. That's what we see with 3 of Cups, is sometimes excess when it comes to eating, drinking, or any sort of recreational habit. Keep that in check. If you're married and there's someone that comes in and is sort of tempting you or trying to pull you away from a partnership, even if it's a business one, be strong, stand up, remember the self-respect card that we got. 2 of Pentacles, be conservative with your spending this month. 9 of Swords, really make sure that anything that's stressing you out, that you bring it to the surface, because the moon really is there to help you. And as we saw here with 3 of Cups, Queen of Cups, and 2 of Cups, they're all upright. I feel like you're going to be able to talk through any situation. If you wait, though, that's not necessarily the case. The sooner the better. The energy is supportive of conflict resolution this month. Queen of Cups, heightened creativity, just like the moon. Also, when you love yourself, others love you. Again, the same energy that we saw with the zebra. And no surprise that in the outcome, we actually have this really cosmically beneficial 2 of Cups that's saying that, hey, you might find a great partnership or a great opportunity. In your expanded forecast, we see an echo of what we saw at the beginning here with the moon. You have to be honest. If someone is not telling you the truth, this is a month to really bring that out in the open and let them know that this isn't the way that you do business or that you're in a relationship. You can overcome this card because it's reversed. It's about transparency, honesty, and standing up for what matters to you. Make time in your life to create things, to create space for your own development. For many of you, this could be writing, it could be learning, it could be some sort of a certificate or learning program. It's important, whatever it is, that you plant the seeds right now, because with this being in your wealth, it will ultimately be something that you can then cash in or monetize in the future for many of you, or it could just lead to that self-worth and self-respect that we saw in the outcome. Couple of different connotations when I look at honeymoon. First of all, for many of you, just to enjoy any sort of courtship or friendship opportunities that might be coming through. That getting to know someone can be just as important as ultimately signing on the dotted line or getting a marriage certificate, etc. Don't rush this phase. It's really important, particularly when it comes to understanding what their goals, their dreams are, because some things may come to light that you need to talk about before you really commit. For those of you in a long-term relationship or a marriage, this is a chance to get away with someone that you love and really reconnect with them. Finally, the honeymoon card is about a honeymoon phase. With any relationship, you're going to see through the veneer that is originally sort of put in front of you. The test of a true relationship is that you can be there for each other. You can work through the stress. You can be there for during those sort of challenging times, and you come out as a partner. So I think that many of you can get through that honeymoon phase and actually be stronger this month. Most importantly, you have to respect yourself and the other person in your life, but it all begins with you, your self-love, your self-respect, your acceptance of who you are and what you want to bring to the world. If you can do this, all of this will come into focus, and I think you're going to have a really great month ahead. So this brings your monthly reading to a close. I hope that it gave you everything that you need to navigate all of the challenges and the opportunities that are in front of you. That's my goal every month. It's empowerment. I know that life sometimes throws you a curveball, or perhaps you just want to talk a little bit more about what's going on here. And if that's the case, you can reach out to me. The way to do that is you can click on the first card in the video or the first link below, and this will take you to my booking site where you can check out rates and availability. If that makes sense, then I look forward to hearing from you. At the beginning of the video, I said that if you liked what you saw, please stick around until the end. This is the part that I was discussing. Basically, everything that you see here is viewer supported, very much like you would see with public radio. I rely on your contributions to continue the production, and if you'd like to make future videos possible and you found that this one was helpful, then the way that you can give back is clicking on the second card or the second link. From there, you'll go to my website where you can make a few choices. You can do like a one-time contribution, and this can be as small as $1 for the whole year. And that's a great deal if you think about it, because each of these videos is around an hour. That's like $1 for 12 hours of content. So, and if you actually watch all 3 of your videos for Sun, Rising, and Moon, then you're getting a lot for that. If you'd like to do a sustaining contribution, which really helps me, you can join me on Patreon or even click the join button here. And that's a great way for me to be able to predict how much resources I have coming in, and I can do these longer videos, higher quality videos with your support. So please click that link if you're interested. Again, second card, second link. You can make a decision if it makes sense for you, and from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much. The third way that you can make an impact doesn't involve much but a few clicks on your part. So if you haven't liked and subscribed, please do that right now. If you want to know when I post new videos, click that little bell icon as well, and you'll get an email straight in your inbox saying that I've uploaded the latest videos. You can also click on the third card and third link. This is going to connect you to my social media networks, which include Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and I have a newsletter as well. So all of these are great ways to stay in touch, and in fact, I would love for you to share what you see here on your social media networks. My goal on this planet is not just to raise consciousness, it's to create conversations around spirituality and to help empower people, like I said a few minutes ago. So every time you share, you're helping others and you're helping me as well, so it's win-win, and I just want to say thank you. Now let's leave you with your closing word for this month. As I'm looking at all of the cards here in front of me, I'm actually drawn to the self-respect one. It was the last one that we pulled, but I think it's probably the most important one. I mentioned that in business, in love, and in life, how you feel about yourself, that really is sort of like this echo that reverberates to everything around you. If there's a feeling of self-love and basically integration, as we were talking about zebra sort of being compared to the star card, if you can embody that feeling of, I know who I am, I love who I am, and I love what I'm doing with my life, then love is starting to kind of ripple through everything that you do. It's going to be able to heal things, it's going to be able to attract the kind of situations that you want in your life, and love is the currency of the universe, something I say time and again. It's the language of God, it's the currency of the universe, it's the only thing that we take with us, really. We take our knowledge and we take our love. The money, nah, it doesn't come with us. The titles, no. The experiences and how they touch our heart, yes. So make that count this month. Love yourself and then love others, okay? It's a great way to end this monthly reading. I just want to say thank you so much. You have a lot of choices in life and also here on YouTube. The fact that we spent almost an hour together, it really is humbling and I'm honored, okay? Take care of yourself, and until I see you again, be kind to yourself and be kind to others. See you soon.